Hi guys, Larry the Barber Man, and today as part of my ongoing tutorials on PPE for when you finally get back to work, we are going to discuss the disposable apron. Now, it hasn't been scientifically proven that contaminated droplets that deposit themselves in your clothes can leave you susceptible to contracting the virus. But one thing that has been proven is that the virus can sit on plastic and metal, being buttons and your belt buckle. So imagine the scenario: a client comes into the shop, coughs, sneezes, or maybe just accidentally spits on you, and it's on your buttons. You wash your hands at the end of the shift in the best of knowledge that you've done everything you can to stay safe. You go home, you repeat the process, you take your shirts off, you undo these buttons that have got the contamination on. You lie down on the sofa, you put your hands in your mouth or your eyes or your nose, the virus can enter your body. So just that scenario alone should make you think twice before not adding the disposable apron as part of your barbering toolkit. Furthermore, there's no way of telling how wary customers will be when the barber shops reopen, with the fact that as barbers you have to work in close proximity, whereas the rest of the country and people are being advised to keep social distancing. Having the extra layer of protection being the disposable apron, it kind of makes sense for closing any doors of doubt that might be open in your client's mind. It can also give you peace of mind at the end of the shift. You're not carrying any contamination home on your clothes. And let's face it, these things cost pennies. So now let's get on to how we're going to don this item, which means to put it on, and how we're going to doff it, which is take it off. Before you do any form of PPE, rule of thumb: first, wash or sanitize your hands. I have sanitizer here. It's 70% alcohol and 30% neutral gel. This is the optimum alcohol to water or alcohol to neutral gel ratio to get the maximum sanitization on your hands. So first and foremost, we're going to start by adding some sanitization to the hands. As I don't have a sink, so I'm going to sanitize with the sanitization gel. Rub the inside of the hands, the back of the hands, in between the fingers, and make sure you get a nice rub on the wrist, so all your hands all the way up to your wrists are clean. That's step number one. Step number two, we open out the apron. Completely place the apron over our head. And what we want to do here, hopefully I'll get this the first time, we need to loop. Wow, that was hard. That was the first ever time I've done that. So that's what we do. Place it over the head, then we do a bow in the back so we can just pull it to undo it. And what I'm going to do is also add to this, I'm going to actually put some gloves on as well, because I think the two things go together. So first and foremost, with the gloves, just bring the two cuffs to the top of the box there. Try not to touch the bottom of it, just try and keep your touching at this stage to the cuff area if possible. Pull those all the way up, don't overstretch. And one other thing, do not blow into these, because if you blow into them then you're going to contaminate them with your droplets. And the whole thing of this form of protection is to protect you and your client from droplets or contaminated droplets. We don't know what the case is. So there you go, you've got your rubber gloves, which are disposable, and your disposable apron. Both of these things really and truly are to protect you from any form of fluid, so sweat, blood, sweat when you're lining up the client, maybe when you're shaving and you get underneath the nose area, when you're shaving around the mouth, saliva, and same with this. So that's how you don correctly. Put the apron over your head, do the knot, put your gloves on. Now, when we're taking it off, first we take off the gloves. So how we take off the gloves, let me just put this here. How we take off the gloves, we pinch contaminated gloves, we pinch it there, and if you roll it off slowly, you'll notice that now I'm just exposed to the clean part of the glove. All the contaminated side is inside. So now that's gone, I scrunch that glove into that hand. And then with this wrist, bend your wrist a little bit. And you want to get your finger under there, so you're only touching the inside and not the contaminated area. And again, just pull it off slowly. And you're only touching not the contaminated part. Yeah? And then you can roll that in. And then when it comes to doffing the apron, what you do first. Take off the top, let it fall. You then go to the back. I formed a knot, so what you do is just do it gently, because the last thing that you want to do is make this apron spring. So what we do, put this hand here with the contaminated gloves, we go inside and we roll it over, and then I'm going to now hold the contaminated gloves in both of the clean sides of the apron. I'm going to fold that over there, so the contaminated gloves are wrapped up and we're only exposed to the clean side of the apron, and then we roll it down like that. And there you have it. You've got that. That's all clean. All your contaminated gloves are in there. Should you have been subject to any contaminated droplets, that's all on the other side of the apron. So that's how you don it. And then hopefully you'd have a foot bin which you'd open and you'd discard both things. Another golden rule: after you've doffed or taken off all of your PPE, again, despite the fact you haven't touched anything, you sanitize your hands. Or if you've got a sink and soap, even better, you wash your hands. But if you haven't, sanitize. And remember, you get your wrist and you're all sanitized, and then you're good to go. And again, another customer comes in, you repeat that cycle, and you do that all day with every single client, replacing a fresh pair of gloves and a fresh disposable apron. So that's another tutorial from Larry the Barber Man. I hope you found that helpful. If you did, smash that subscription button, give me a like, and I'd love to hear your comments, good, bad or ugly. So until next time, that's Larry the Barber Man. I'm out of here.